Welcome back, everyone. I'm on my second attempt of the Black Barrow scenario. I learned a lot in my first playthrough. During editing, I noticed tons of mistakes I made, so I'm not sure if the mistakes caused me to lose the scenario, but they definitely impacted the gameplay. Since I failed the first Black Barrow scenario, I had the option to go back to town, but I decided not to. I'm still able to heal up to full health and refresh all my items. I just didn't want to go back to town and risk doing another town event and a road event. I have changed my starting positions from my first attempt. I just have the Brute and the Spellweaver now side by side. Spellweaver was a little bit more robust than I thought she would be. So my strategy, I think, for this playthrough is to just be very aggressive because I know I'm going to be reduced to 0 health at some point. I know I'm going to lose cards because of that. But I have a limited number of turns I can take because I have a limited number of cards. So the quicker I get through this, the more likely I'll be able to succeed. My personal quests were picked in episode 1, so I'm not going to repeat them here. I'm not going to reread the scenario setup. If you want to see that, you can just go check out about the first 5 minutes of the first video that I did, episode 1. I do, however, need to pick my battle goals for this scenario. I've shuffled the deck. I'm going to deal 2 to the Spellweaver, 2 to the Brute. I can pick from the 2 to see which one I want to use. For the Spellweaver, there's Scrambler and Indigent. I'm going to use Scrambler for the Spellweaver. For the Brute, it's either Hunter or Plunderer. So I'm going to go with Hunter. Now, because I did a playthrough already in episode 1, I'm going to focus less on explaining what the cards do, and I'm just going to pick my cards for each round and have them ready to go. We're ready to go. This is round number 1. So my Brute goes first, and the Spellweaver will go second, Guard will go third. But I'm going to use the bottom part of Provoking Roar just for the 2 movement. And I'm going to move over here. I'm going to use the upper part of Spare Dagger for an attack of 3, range 3. So 1, 2, 3. This guy, they're both in range, but I'm going to attack the guard with the lower health, so the normal guard. I get an experience point if I use this, so attack 3, come on, good bonus, +1. So I hit guard number 1 for 4. And my cards now go into the discard pile, although I'll keep them up so I can see what initiative I had. Spellweaver, using the bottom part of Ride the Wind just for the 2 movement. I'm going to have to move 1, 2, because I want to get that guard within my range of 2, and then I'm going to use the upper part of Flame Strike for an attack of 3, range of 2. So unless I get totally unlucky with my modifier, I should be able to get rid of that guard. +0, that's fine. I hit the guard for 3. He's only got 1 health left. So this guard has been wiped out. That's great. Much better start than I had last time. And my turn is over. Make sure my cards go into the discard. Keep the one on top so I can see what initiative I had, just in case I need to break a tie. Now the Elite Guard goes first. Elite Guard does have a movement of 2. So he's going to attack the closest. Now he's got 2 paths he could go. Whenever I'm treated with a random choice, I'm going to actually use dice rolls. So I have a 4-sided die. He can go 2 different ways. 1 to 2 he goes there, 3 to 4 he goes there. Got a 4, I'm going to put him there. I was going to attack for 3, the Spellweaver. He doesn't have any bonus to attack, so it's just 3 attack, whatever the modifier is. -1, yay, that's good. So he hits my Spellweaver for 2. Guard number 4. Movement of 2, it's pretty clear where he's going to go. It doesn't matter which way he goes because it'll get him here. And again, he'll attack the Spellweaver. This time he's got an attack of 2, +1. So he hits for 3. That would put me down to 1 health. What do I want to do here? This is a bit of a decision. Do I want to absorb that damage by losing a card? Or do I want to take the damage? I'll take the damage. 3 damage, I'm down to 1. Let's see if I can get myself out of this. That's the end of round 1. Okay, start of round 2. So Spellweaver. I'm going to use the upper part of Freezing Nova. Attack 2, target all adjacent enemies. Well, they're all next to me, so... And then Immobilize. I really wanted this for the Immobilize because I only have 1 health and I want to get away from these guys. So attack 2. Now the Strengthen on the guards. And I'm going to put a token on there just to make sure I don't forget that. Now, Strengthen just means they gain advantage on their next attack, and then the Strengthen is gone at the end of their turn. So I'm going to attack 2. I'm going to attack the regular guard first, guard number 4. Attack 2. Son of a beach. -2. So that attack was ineffective. However, I can still immobilize the target. Guard number 4 right now is immobilized. Now I can pick a different modifier for guard number 6 because I get 1 modifier for each attack. So the elite guard, -1, still not great, but at least I do 1 damage to the elite guard, which is guard number 6, and I immobilize him as well. Now my second card, that was the upper part of Freezing Nova. I'm going to use the bottom part of Impaling Eruption just to move away. These guys have a base attack, or base movement of 2. So I want to move at least 3 away, just to be sure. I'm going to move way back into the corner here. I move 3 back to here, so that I'm 3 tiles away from the nearest card. That is the end of the Spellweaver's turn. Stupid me, I just realized they're immobilized. I don't need to move that far away. Okay, well, I still want to move that far away. Now the guards are both immobilized, so they have strengthen. It's their turn next. They go before my brute. They already had a -1 penalty to their movement, but since they can't move, they can't attack. So their turn is basically over. Now the brute, I'm thinking of being really bold here. So I'm going to use the bottom part of Grab and Go for a move of 4. I'm actually going to move behind these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to use the upper part of Overwhelming Assault. Now if I do this, I'm going to lose the card. But I'm going to test my luck here, and it's 6 attack. If I get lucky with a modifier, well, no, I'd have to get really lucky to get rid of the Elite Guard because he's got 9 health. But this will get rid of, well actually no, the Elite Guard's down to 8 health. But still, I'd need a +2 or better to get rid of the Elite Guard. So I'm instead going to attack the normal guard and just try to get rid of him. So base attack of 6, modifier +1. That's good enough. Don't even have to put any health tokens on. Guard number 4 is now gone. Take his mobilize and strengthen tokens off. And I got 2 experience for using that card. But because of that, I lose the card. And this one goes in my discard pile. So I'm down to 9 cards on the brute. That round is over. The guards are no longer immobilized or strengthened because that's a 1 turn only effect. Although strengthen would be the end of their next turn. They were immobilized, they weren't able to use it, so yeah, that's gone. Start of round number 3. Initiative of 7 for my Spellweaver, 32 for the brute, and 15 for the guards. The Spellweaver is going to go first here. I'm going to use the bottom card of Fire Orbs just for a move. And I'm going to move just 1? No, I might as well get a little bit closer. I can move 2. You know what? I can move up to 3. That's what it's on the card, so might as well. I'm going to move to there. And then the upper part of Mana Bolt, I can attack for 2 in a range of 3. Attack of 2, +0. So 2 damage on the bandit. Oh, the bandit guard has a shield of 1. So it's only 1 damage to the elite guard. And the elite guard's also going to be able to poison on their attack. That's not great. So the Spellweaver's turn is done. Cards go on the discard pile. Next is the guard. Guard is next to the brute. So it's going to attack the brute. Base attack of 3. No attack bonus. Although he does poison. Poisons the brute. And poison gives 1+1 attack. So the brute is poisoned. So that means they got a base attack now of +4. Modifier 0. So 4 hit points to the brute. Guard's turn is over. Well, I got lucky, I think, because I picked a card that has Pierce. So actually, I'm going to use the bottom half of Warding Strength. Now, this is a persistent effect card, so I put it up here. I'm going to lose it after the effect is gone, but what it does is, after the next 6 sources of damage, I get Shield of 1. So this will stay active until I have taken damage 6 times. But then I lose the card. I'm going to use the upper half of Trample for an attack of 3 and a pierce of 2. So this is going to negate the armor on the guard. So I get an attack of 3 +0. So 3 damage to the guard. He's already got 2. I'm going to get a 5 token and put that on there. So the guard is now down to 4 health. This goes in my discard pile. That's the end of the round. That card has got a shuffle symbol, so I'm going to shuffle that back into the deck. Initiative. Brute 18, Spellweaver 20, Guard 50. Brute goes first. I'm actually going to use the bottom part of Eye for an Eye to heal myself for 2. Actually, I am poisoned. So what I got wrong in the last scenario I did, or last video, if I'm poisoned and I use a heal, all that does is remove the poison. It doesn't actually give me any hit points. But removing the poison is good enough. I'm going to use the upper part of Leaping Cleave for an attack of 3 plus, hopefully, -1. So attack of 2, I hit the Bandit Guard for 2. And I get an experience point for using that card. Both of these go into my discard pile. Now Spellweaver is next. If I'm lucky, I can get rid of that guy. So I'm going to use the upper part of Frost Armor for an attack of 2, range of 3. And, backing up, when I used the bottom part of Eye for an Eye, it put the Earth element into the element table, which is good because the upper part of Frost Armor, attack 3, range 3, if I consume any element, I get +1 to attack and I get an experience point. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to consume the element. So I have an attack of 3 now. Be nice, be nice, be nice. -1, still worth it. That means I hit the Bandit Guard. I had an attack of 3, -1, attack of 2. Bandit Guard is at 7 damage already. Maximum's 9, so that kills the Bandit Guard. And put some money token there. That's good, and I got an experience point for that. Experience is good. Now I still have my other card. I'm just going to use the bottom part of Reviving Ether. I can move up to 4 if I want, but I think I'm only going to move 2, and I'm going to move on to this money token. Since the guard was eliminated, he does get a turn, so that's the end of the turn. So both of these go into my discard pile. So end of round 4 cleanup, I get my money token. Now in order to get my battle goal, if I only take short rests on the Spellweaver, so I've got 8 cards. Now, in the sake of randomness, I have an 8-sided die. I'm just going to roll the die and then count down for the number, and that's the card I'm going to lose. 8. I lose the bottom card. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I lose this card. Not even going to look at it. Can't miss it if I don't know what it was. Now for the Brute, I'm also going to do a short rest, I think. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. So I'm going to roll a 6-sided die. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I lose this card. Start at round number 5. My Brute's going to go first. I need to get through that door, so there's no monsters in this room. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the upper part of Grab and Go. It says loot the range of 1. So I've got 2 tiles within range of 1 of me, so I'm going to loot both of those tokens. Now the bottom part of Shield Bash I'm just using for the 2 movement. So I'm going to move into the doorway, open that door. I still have 1 movement, but now that the door is open, I populate everything in this room here. So in that room, there are 2 damage traps right by the door. There's an elite bandit archer way in the back of the room and 2 normal bandit guards. I'm going to finish my Brute's turn. He sees the monsters. I have a choice. Do I go toward them or do I go away from them because I have 1 movement left? I'm going to back up 1 just to give myself some options here. So now my Brute's turn is done. These cards go in my discard. Next will be the Archer. Initiative of 16 is greater than my Spellweaver. Actually, both the Guard and the Archer has a greater initiative than my Spellweaver. So the Archer it's an elite Archer, base movement of 2, +1 for movement. So it's going to move 3. Its range is 3, so it's nowhere near in range. So it's just going to immediately go 1, 2, 3. It's not within range to attack, so it can't attack. Now the Guards have a base movement. Oh, I forgot to take my tokens off here for getting rid of that guard. Guards have a base movement of 2 with a -1 modifier. So they're actually both going to move 1. And then and they're not close enough to attack, so that's the end of that turn. Now, Spellweaver. I am really just going to use the bottom part of Mana Bolt to heal myself for 3. The other card was Ride the Wind, which I could either have looted or attacked, and I can't do either, so I'm just going to discard my card. Well, that was a very easy round. Into round 5. Start of round 6. So my Brute goes first. What I'm going to do is the bottom part of Sweeping Blow. So move 3 with a push of 1, target all adjacent enemies. But I'm going to use my boots of striding to get myself an extra 2 movement. So what I'm going to do then is go 1, 2, I'm going to go 3, I'm going to push these guys both back 1, 4, and for my last move, I'm going to push the archer into this trap. 5. So the trap is gone. That's a 2 damage trap. So the archer takes 2 damage. That's number 6 on the archer. Then the upper part of Provoking Roar for attack 2 and a disarm. And I'm going to attack the archer. So attack 2, -2. Yay. So my attack is nullified, although I can still disarm the target. So I will disarm the archer. So the archer cannot attack. And those cards go into my discard pile. The guards are next. They have a shield of 1, attack of 1, and poison. And their base movement is 2. Well, they're going to go for the brute. So guard number 1 is going to go first. He's going to move here. And he is going to attack the brute. Now, I do have a shield. I've got this warding strength as a persistent effect. So he's going to attack. Base attack is 2, plus the poison is 3. Null, that's great. But I still get poisoned. So I'm poisoned till the end of my next turn. And I've already taken my turn, so this won't go away until the end of next round. Now, this says on the next 6 sources of damage, but I didn't take any damage, so I'm not going to activate that card. Guard number 4 also is going to move 1. Attack of 2, plus 0. It's going to hit me for 2, but I now can activate my warding strength. And I get a shield of 1 that takes up 1 spot on the card. And I take 1 damage. Well, Spellweaver to the rescue, maybe. Well, maybe not. Because everybody moved away from me, I can't get close enough to attack. Well, all I can do is I'm going to use the bottom part of Freezing Nova just to move 2. And then I'm not within range of anybody, so I really can't even use my other card. So just both go in the discard pile. Now the archer is disarmed, so it can't attack, but it can move. So if it were to move to get into an ideal attacking position, it would have to be at least 1 tile away, because its attacks are ranged, and if it's next to the character, it'll have disadvantage. So actually the archer will move 2 away. That's the end of round 6, start of round 7. This disarm only lasted for the 1 turn, so I can take that off. My poison is still active. I do have a healing potion. I might have to use it, but I have to wait for my turn. So it's going to go Archer, Spellweaver, Brute, Guard. Well, the Archer, move -1, attack -1, create a 3 damage trap closest to the enemy. So the Archer doesn't move because it's within range of 3 and it doesn't have disadvantage. It has an attack of 3 -1 for the card. So an attack of 2 and +1. So it's going to attack for 3, but it's attacking my Brute. My Brute has the warding strength. I've got 1 armor, so it hits me for 2. This moves over, and I get 1 experience point for blocking the damage once. So I get 2 damage taken off of me. Down to 3. That's not good. The archer's turn. Oh, and they create a 3 damage trap. Closest to the enemies, that's going to go right in front. That's a 3 damage trap. Spellweaver is next. Well, I need to move to get within range. I'm going to use the bottom of Impaling Eruption to move. And I could move up to 4, but I actually just want to move. I'm going to move 1, 2, and that puts 2 characters within range of my next attack. And then I'm going to use the upper part of Frost Armor, attack for 2, range of 3. And I'm going to pick guard number 4. So guard number 4, attack 2, +0, so 2 damage to guard number 4. And put these in my discard pile. So my turn is over. Next is the Brute. So I'm not going to move. Both of my cards I can do an attack. I'm going to start with Leaping Cleave. So I get 1 experience point. I'll just go ahead and mark that right away. Leaping Cleave allows me to attack 2 targets at once. So I'm going to attack guard number 4 first. Base attack of 3. And hope I get good here. Null. My attack was nullified. Of course it was. Well, I can still attack the other guard, which is guard number 1. At least I know I'm not going to get a null card. Again, base attack of 3. 0. Well, I at least hit him for 3. Guard number 1 takes 3 damage. Now I still get another attack. I can use the bottom part of Spare Dagger to attack just 1 guard. And I have an attack of 2. And the bandit guard is 2 health away from being dead. So I'm going to attack guard number 1. Base attack of 2 plus 0. 2 damage. That's enough to kill him. So guard number 1 has been killed. Guard number 1's gone. Put a mini token there. Now my turn is over. It goes into the discard pile. So the guard is left. Move +1, attack -1. Well, it's not going to move because he's right next to my brute. He's going to attack the brute. -1. So base attack of 2 -1 is 1. I have still have a shield. So +1. So it's 2 -1 +1 back up to 2. Shield. Utilize a shield. -1. So 2 -1 +1 -1 is 1. So I get hit for 1 damage. Oh, but I'm still poisoned. Right. Well, he attacks me. He hits me for 2 then, because I'm still poisoned. Now I got to remember to get rid of that poison. It's the end of the round. Now I have 1 card left on my brute and 1 on my spellweaver. So both of them are going to have to do a short rest. Round number 8. So short rest, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. So I'm going to roll a 6-sided die. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lose that card. Now for the brute, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. So the same thing. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Lose that card. So the rules say if there's a tie between monsters and characters, the character goes first. So that means my brute gets to go first. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to be a little bit bold here. I'm going to use the bottom part of trample to just move 2. And I'm going to move 1, 2 to get next to the archer. And I'm going to use the upper part of Shield Bash. I'm going to lose the card by doing this, but I'm going to use the upper part of Shield Bash to attack 4 and stun. Stun might not need to worry about if my attack is successful. The archer only has 4 hit points left. So attack of 4, it all comes down to the modifier, +0. Sweet, I get 2 experience points for doing that. So the archer, and it's an elite archer, so I satisfied my battle goal. Kill 1 or more elite monsters during the scenario. So elite archer is gone. Cool, now it's still my turn. First I'm going to put my cards into the discard. Actually, this one, since I used it, Shield Bash, I have to lose the card. That's fine. Now I'm going to use my minor healing potion. It says heal 3, but I'm using it to get rid of the poison. So I'll get rid of the poison, get rid of my heal potion, but my hit points don't change. Now, by doing that, I've moved the brute 3 tiles away from the guard, and now my spellweaver is closer to the guard, so the guard's going to attack the spellweaver. The guard can move 2, so it's just going to move to get within range of his attack, and it's going to attack for 2. And modifier -1, so he's going to hit my spellweaver for 1. Now, he's got retaliate of 2. So I have a choice here. It's my turn now. Spellweaver's turn. I did plan on using the heal to heal the brute, but now the brute is too far away. I'm going to lose this card, but I'm going to use the bottom part of Frost Armor as a persistent effect. And it says on the next 2 sources of damage, you suffer no damage instead. Now that puts, by playing that card, I get the Frost element into the active table. Then I'm going to use the upper part of Freezing Nova for an attack of 2. But if I consume the frost that I just put in there, I get +1 to attack. So I get an attack of 3. Now the guard has a shield of 1 and retaliate of 2. Now I'm going to go ahead and use my minor power potion. During my attack, add +1 attack. So now I have an attack of 4. The guard has a shield of 1, so my attack is 3. I'm going to consume that and just hope I get lucky with the card. +1. So my attack is 4, and that is more than enough to kill that guard. Because he's got 2 health, his maximum health is 5, so this guard is gone. And since I killed the guard during my turn, the retaliate doesn't activate. Well, I was expecting to take damage there from the retaliate, that's why I played that card, but I didn't take any, but still, that card's still active. What a relief! Doing much better this game than I did the one before, that's for sure. Okay, end of the round. There are no more guards in the game, so I'm going to get the bandit guard out of here to make room. My brute might want to do a long rest to get some health. So round 9, I'm declaring a long rest for my brute. So my initiative is 99. For the spellweaver, I have to still play 2 cards. I'm going to use the upper part of Ride the Wind to loot that money token. And then I'm going to use the lower part of Mana Bolt to heal myself for 3. That puts me back up to my maximum health of 6. And that is the end of the turn. Oh, at the end of the round, I have to choose which of my discards to lose, but I only have 1 card in there. So this gets lost. I refresh my item, and I get 2 health points back. Start around 10. Brute goes first. I've got initiative of 10 versus the 69 on the Spellweaver. There's no monsters in the room. I'm going to use the bottom of Grab and Go to move 4. So I'm going to open that door. 1, and then open this door. I still have 2 move left. But now that I open the door, I'm going to read the text that goes along with that. Kicking through the door, you find yourself face to face with the reason these bandits chose this particular hole to nest in. Animate bones. Unholy abominations of necromantic power. Nothing more to do but lay them to rest along with the remainder of this troublesome rabble. Now, I'm going to populate that room. There are 2 living bones way back here. There are 2 tables. And there's obstructions on either end of the table, so you can't go around the table, so you really can only go through the middle here. And then there's 2 normal bandit archers, treasure chest in the corner, 5 money tokens. Get my living bones over here. I need to draw a card for each monster. Now, I can finish my movement. I've got 2 movement left. I'll go bursting through the door and I see everything in there, and I'm low on hit points, so I'm going to use my remaining 2 movement to back off, back to here. That hopefully gets me out of range of the archers and both the living bones, because they're going to get a turn this round. Now my other card I can't use because I'm not close enough to attack anybody, so just both of these go into my discard pile. Now both the archer and the living bones have initiative higher than my spellweaver, so they're going to go first. Living bones, pretty high health, but their attack is weak, but they can attack 2 targets. Ooh, well, I'm glad I backed off because they have a movement bonus of +1 and their base movement is 2. So which one's going to go first? I've got living bones number 1 and number 8. I just put the character stat sheet into a sleeve that's got 10 spots on it. So number 1's going to go first, and he's going to move 3. So he's going to go barreling into that door. 1, 2, 3. So he's blocking the door now. But he is not close enough to attack, so he can't attack. The second living bones will also move 3, but he can only move 2, so we'll move to there. Now the archers are next. Archer's base movement is 2, cannot get into range, but they're both going to move. We'll go 1, 2, 1, 2. So they both move 2, but they're not close enough to attack. This is, I think, where I failed in my other strategy, is I went through the door, but if letting the monsters come to you gives you a little bit more control. That's the end of the monster's turn. My Spellweaver can go now. So I'm going to use the bottom part of Impaling Eruption. I could move 4. Hang on here, line of sight is going to be important. I'm going to figure this out. Yeah, if I'm on this tile, I can see both living bones because the corner of that hex, I can see the corner of both of those hexes. And the brute's in the way and the trap's in the way, and there's a trap there. So using the bottom of Impaling Eruption, I can move up to 4. or move 2. So I'm just going to move 2 onto the money token. Now I'm 1, 2, 3, 4 hexes away from the monsters. So I'm going to use the upper part of Fire Orbs. Attack 3, range 3. I can target 3. So I can target both of the living bones. And I gain 1 experience for each enemy targeted. So I'm going to go ahead and give myself the experience before I forget. I'm going to lose this card though. So, oh, the range is 3. So actually I can only attack... Crap, I thought the range is 4. 1, 2, 3. If I move there. So I can't move on to the money token. I got to move over to here. I'm still within my movement range I had. It's just I need to get within 3 of those enemies. So, and can I still see them both? Well, it said if a corner of one hex can see the corner of the other. So line of sight. Technically, if I were to draw a straight line from this hex here, I hit the wall. But if I went from the corner, I can see the corner of that one. So according to the rules, it does say any corner to any corner. All right, people can tell me if I got this wrong or not, and I'll know when I do the top-down shot. If I draw a line from the corner of this hex to the corner of this one, I don't hit a wall. Now my Lego walls here aren't positioned exactly, I think, where the door should be, although technically the door is basically considered to be that entire hex. So this is probably obscuring the door actually more than it is. From what I've determined, this guy's got line of sight to those 2 enemies. So I'm going to attack Living Bones number 1, attack 3, attack modifier -1. So attack of 2, I can do 2 hit points of damage to skeleton number 1, Living Bones number 1. Well, this puts a fire element into the board. Now for Living Bones number 8, attack of 3, +0. That's fine. I can do 3 damage to Living Bones number 8. And my turn is done. That's the end of that round. I need to do a short rest for the Spellweaver. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. I'm going to roll then a 6-sided die and just count down. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lose that card. So start around 11. That gets moved down. 4 enemies, and each of my characters only have 4 cards, which means realistically I only get 2 more turns each. What are we going to do? Well, the goal of the scenario is to just kill the enemies. So if I kill the enemies, I win. So Spellweaver goes first. I still have this active card to block damage. So Spellweaver now is more robust than my Brute. I'm going to use, start of turn 11, I'm going to use the bottom part of Mana Bolt to heal the Brute for 3. So the Brute's now up to 6. Both of my characters have 6 health. And I'm going to use I'm just going to be bold here. I'm going to lose this card, but I'm going to use the upper part of Impaling Eruption. Attack 3, range 4. Additionally, target all enemies on the path to the primary target. So I've already 1, 2, 3. Those guys aren't in range, but this could be my primary target. That is on the way because it's an adjacent hex. And gain 1 experience for each enemy targeted. And it puts Earth Element into play. I'm going to go ahead and take my 2 experience points. So attack of 3. I'm going to attack Living Bones number 1 first. Attack of +1. So, well, that's awesome. That's 4 attack on Living Bones number 1. It already had 2 damage. So now it's up to 6 damage, which is more than its health of 5. So Living Bones number 1 has been killed. Bye-bye, money token. So for Living Bones number 8, attack of 3. 2 times. What a great time. Mind you, I would have got him anyway with the attack of 3, so that's kind of wasted, I guess. But still, it's nice to finally get a good bonus like that. So attack of 6 utterly obliterates this guy. He is gone. I'm feeling good about this. Probably just jinxed myself. So the Living Bones are actually gone. So I'm going to take these out of play. Living Bones are gone. We're just down to the Archer. I lose my Impaling Eruption card. Other one goes into my discard. Archer goes next. They have a bonus to their move, but a negative to their attack. So the base movement's 2. Archer number 1 is going to go first. 1, 2. They only move as close as they need to be to target somebody. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, they're both 3 away. Who's going to attack? When there is a tie, they attack the person that went first in the round, which was the Spellweaver. So archer number 1 is going to attack the Spellweaver. Base attack of 2, bonus of -1. So it's -1 modifier. Still going to do a modifier, +0. +0, so attack of 1, but I block the attack. So again, doing okay. Archer number 2 also needs to move 2 to at least get within a range of 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Again is going to attack the Spellweaver because it went first in the round. Bandit Archer number 5 is going to attack the Spellweaver again, so base attack of 2 plus -1, so 1 plus 1, 2, but I block the attack. Oh, and I get an experience point for each time I block an attack. That's awesome. And I don't take any damage because I blocked the attack. Before I forget, this card is now done, and I lose it. The Brute. That actually worked out quite well because it brought both archers within my attack. So I'm going to use the bottom part of Sweeping Blow to move 2. And that gets me right into the doorway. And then the upper part of Leaping Cleave to attack for 3, and I can attack 2 enemies. Archer number 5, 3, +2. Thank goodness for some actual good cards here. So I hit the Bandit Archer. Oh, the Bandit Archers actually only have 4 health. So on one attack, I killed Bandit Archer number 5. That is sweet. And I get to attack the other one too. So same thing, attack 3. What a great time for these cards. 2 times, I kill the Bandit Archer. Just like that. He's gone. And there's another money token, because that would be 3 times 2, 6, so just devastated the Archer. End of my turn. Those go into my discard. Now all the monsters are gone. I'm going to finish my end around cleanup here, just to be sure. So both of these... Well, I don't need to shuffle them because there's no more monsters to attack, so I'm just going to do this just for cleanup. Huh. I'm just so excited. I don't know what to do. I got to see, can I still take a turn? I still have cards. Because maybe I can still get to that treasure chest. But I think the scenario might be over. Before I do that, let me quickly read this. With the last bandit dead, you take a moment to catch your breath and steel yourself against the visions of living remains ripping at your flesh. Your target is not among the dead, and you shudder to think what horrors still await you in the catacombs below. This opens up a new location, Barrow Lair, and the party gets an achievement called First Steps. Okay, here we go. Once a scenario's success or failure conditions are triggered, the remainder of the round is played out, and then the scenario ends. What that means is, even though I have cards left, I can't just move over and get that treasure. I would have had to get the treasure while the scenario goals were still active. And that also means I can't loot any of the coins, unless I'm sitting on a coin, which the Brute is, so I do get 1 coin. So that's the end. I did it. I survived. Now I get to tally up the goods. Now both of my characters achieved their battle goals. So both of them get a check mark. I'll get my character sheets over here. Both of them, there's a bunch of check boxes down here. I'm going to put an X just because it's colored in because it's easier to see. And on my party sheet, I'm going to record the achievement, First Steps. I have 2 tokens for the Spellweaver. The conversion is 2, so that's 4 gold. So Spellweaver is now up to 16 gold. I had 12 gold from the end of the previous scenario. For the Brute, I've got 3 money tokens, so that's times 2 is 6. So I'm now up to 8 gold. Spellweaver got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 experience. So that gets her up to 10. And the Brute got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 experience. So he's up to 14. It takes 45 experience to get to level 2. I'm nowhere near that. I'm going to put my health trackers back up to the maximum. Items get refreshed if I want to play the next round. Well, there we go. First time I played this, I failed miserably. Second time, I think I just understood the game a bit better. I'm pretty sure I maybe still made a mistake. I'll know when I do the editing. but I definitely got more lucky toward the end there. So I have to decide, do I go back to town or do I just go right into the next adventure? Because on the scenario page, it says the link, Barrow Lair. So when it says link, it means I don't need to travel back to town. I can go directly and do Barrow Lair. I still heal up and refresh all my items. So I could do that. And since I really only have enough money to buy one item on one character, I don't think it's worth going back to town. So I think I'll probably just jump right into the next scenario. But that's enough for today. I'm pretty sure this particular video is going to be a lot shorter than my first video, because my first video I was doing a bit of explanation at the same time. For this one, I'm mostly just focused on the round-to-round action. Well, thank you for watching this successful run of Black Barrow. My characters are still in their infancy, but like most games, you level up, you gear up, you get stronger, but then of course the monsters get stronger. When I played this before, I only really got through like the first 3 or 4 scenarios, but there are 95 scenarios total. Well, thanks so much for watching. If you're new to the game, I hope you enjoyed it. If you've played this before, feel free to point out all the mistakes I made in the comments. Thanks so much for watching.